Now, if inflation is the price change on goods and services that we normally use on a day-to-day, now you will know that a high inflation triggers the SA Reserve Bank or a Federal Reserve to increase interest rates, which is exactly the environment we're in. Because of the high inflation, or because the goods and services that we are buying or using are quite expensive, we are seeing inflation figures still being high. I mean, even though the SA Reserve Bank for inflation is somewhere between 4 and 6%, this current 5.2%, which is our current inflation, it's still very high because SA Reserve Bank is targeting an inflation of at least 4.5%. So until we get 4.5%, the SA Reserve Bank, they'll always be on their toes trying to make adjustment to make sure that we get to the 4.5%. Now, what influences inflation is the amount of money that consumers have and are spending to buy the products and services that we use on a day-to-day. The more money that consumers will have, the more items or products and services that they will be able to buy, which that will result in products and services ending up finished maybe or running short, and therefore the prices for those products and services, because the demand is high, they will have to, of course, increase the prices on those products to try to cater for the demand that is there on the products. So this is what results in inflation going up. Whereas if not so many people are having enough money to buy products and services, that results in inflation or the cost of living coming down. Now, the current situation now shows that inflation has been cooling down, meaning that people are not having enough money or as much money as they had probably 2 years ago to spend on products and services, which is why we are seeing inflation cooling down. I mean, when you have a look at a critical figure like the M3, which measures the money supply, you will notice that last year, when inflation was around 7.8%, you will notice that the money supply, or this M3 that measures the money supply or money in the pockets of the consumers or SA consumers, it reached sky high, or it was also surging pretty sharply because the amount of money that people were having in their pockets was resulting in people being able to buy a lot of products and services, which therefore was having a huge influence into inflation. This was not good because it is the situation that currently puts us where we are in terms of interest rates by the SA Reserve Bank. So the second thing that also has an influence, of course, into inflation is, of course, the oil prices. This also plays a huge role into inflation because you'll remember that the war, Ukraine and Russia, it resulted into some of the oil supply lines being disturbed, and therefore the prices for oil had to surge because of that, because there was not enough supply for oil and the demand was there, and therefore it ended up resulting in the prices of oil to surge, which it is the reason why we had also our petrol prices here locally in SA also skyrocketing because of that. But now it looks like they are also sort of like cooling off. I think when I checked yesterday, I think prices for petrol 95, it's around 24 rands and 25 cents, which we have not been seeing some volatility in terms of the price. And as inflation cools off and all prices maybe also cool off, we'll get to see also the petrol prices continue coming down. So yes, inflation is still high, and the reason for today's video is because tomorrow we are going to be receiving the M3 supply figures, which will show, or which will be showing how much money did, of course, the South African consumers had in their pockets for the month of May. And if it's too high, it won't be that good, because high may also mean that the economy is doing, or it's stable, is doing well, but too high is what I think we don't want. We want the money supply at least to be stable or to come down, because then that will also ease inflation, or it is an indicator that shows that once this comes down, then the inflation will also come down, which is something that is pretty exciting, something that, of course, we look forward to that figure tomorrow. So I hope this shows you, or this teaches you a thing or two, because you will know that how this all inflation interest rates affect the stocks that we own in the JSE is because once interest rates are high or up, then the stocks tend not to perform good in a high interest rate environment, because they can't go and borrow money to grow their businesses, and their existing debts which they have their repayments becomes more, and therefore companies don't usually grow because they can't implement strategies that need some finances to grow their business, which therefore that ends up hurting the companies that we invest in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I'd just give you this quick updates. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey, and God bless you all.